Systems of Inequalities by Justin D'Souza. The learning objective is to solve systems of linear inequalities by graphing, and the keyword is system of inequalities. We have solved systems of equations, and now it's about inequalities. You will have either greater than, less than, or greater than equal to, or less than or equal to in the equation. Now to graph, we need to solve the both equations, graph them up, and see the overlapping region. If I tell it, it's very hard to understand. Let's solve a problem. Here we can see we have to solve this inequality. Now first, we need to look into the equations and see in which form they are. Now this is in standard form, this is in slope-intercept form. Let us use the slope-intercept form. The slope-intercept form is always given by y is equal to mx plus b. Okay. Now there are different methods to solve this. You can use the table method, you can use the direct method from slope-intercept, and so on. Now I will go with the slope-intercept, and then I'll show you the table method as well, because slope-intercept method, once you're thorough with this, is much easier and it saves a lot of time. Now, how do we get this inequality in terms of slope-intercept? It's not like an equation, because here there is inequality, so be very careful. First, let's write this over here. I'll just solve it up over here. Now it's x minus 2y greater than minus 6. Remember, you need to keep y at one side and x to the other side, all the other terms to the other side. So I'll leave minus 2y here greater than, let's write x first because it's mx, minus 1x, that is minus 1 is m. And over here we have minus 6. Or you can just write minus 6, it's the same thing. If nothing is there, no number, it's 1. Now we need to take this 2 to the other side. We have to take minus 2, but always remember, during inequalities, never bring in signs directly. So first I'll divide this entire terms by 2. So I'll have minus y greater than negative half x minus 3. Now the rule for changing signs in inequality is you need to flip the sign as well. Now I can multiply throughout by minus 1, right? If I multiply throughout by minus 1, all the signs changes. Yes, all signs will change. Over here it will be positive half x and positive 3. But remember, even to change the inequality, this inequality flips. Okay, let me just give you one more example. If I had minus y, okay, and plus 2x minus 3, and this was less than. Now I want this positive, right? So I change all the signs. It will be y, this will be minus 2x. Over here plus becomes minus and minus becomes plus 3. This sign instead of less than becomes greater than. This is how it works. So please remember that. And now we have got this in slope-intercept form. We will write it over here. Y is less than half mx, that is half x, plus b is 3. And what about the next equation? It's already in slope-intercept form, m is 3, and there is no b value. That means it's plus 0. This is the slope-intercept form. Now if we graph it in the coordinate, now why I did this is it's easier to graph. Now you should know the basic knowledge of graph. I will just write it out over here. What is m? M is the slope. It is by dy by dx. Okay, over here also it's dy by dx. Now here we have a fraction, that means it's 1 by 2 positive, and over here we have only one number, that means divided by 1. Okay. Here this means for 1 unit of y, for the first one, if this is the graph, it's all positive, so it's up or right, only upside or right side. Now if I start, imagine this is not there, I'm starting from 0, the slope would be for 1 unit upwards, it will be 2 units x, because dy means y-axis, and x means 2 units to the right. So this would be the next point, and that would be your answer. Now this is for half slope. Let me show for slope of 3 what would happen. See here, x is 1 and y is 3. So 1, 2, 3 units y and 1 unit x. So this graph would be something like, the points are over here. You should connect them. It will be something like this, a straight line. Okay, that would be the answer for that. So understanding the slope is very important. I have put a link in the description for more understanding of graphs. Please go through that if you are getting confused here. After watching that, you can understand this easily. Now, since over here plus 3 is there, it will start somewhere over here at 3. Okay. And this one will start at 0. Now, I know that whenever this slope is greater than 1, if it's 1, it's a 45-degree line like this. If it's greater than 1, if it's 2, it will be somewhere over here, 3 will be somewhere like this, higher. And as it reduces, this becomes lower and lower as the slope increases. 0 is a flat line. Now, knowing that, I can easily graph this. It's half plus 3, right? So I'll start over here, and half is somewhat like this. Okay. And what about this one? This is 3, so it'll be going upwards like this. Just a rough estimate, and somewhere over here it touches. Now, since you need to graph, this is an estimate graph, it's not an accurate graph. This is fine. As long as you know where it moves, this is more than enough. You will have a coordinate scale, so you can easily graph this accurately. Now, I've not graphed it properly, but I'll show you with the coordinate how easy it is. Let's quickly see the graph here. But before that, I'll tell you about the inequalities. Which is the solution? This is not the solution. The solution is an overlapping region. Now let's see the first equation. Which is the first equation? Over here, that is y is less than half x plus 3. I'll put this as 1, and this is that first one. And this is the second one, okay? This line. This is second. Now both the sides is less than. See, now this is the line. Less than is always downwards, and here also it's less than, it's downwards. So for the first one, I will draw it in brown. It's all this solution region, all this, it's all over here below this particular line. Now what about the next line? This is also less than. So again, the second equation, which is in green now, again less than. All this is the solution region over here. Let me just change the shape. So this is all the solution region. Now can you tell me which is the overlapping region? See, this is only for the second equation. This part is only for the first equation. Which is the overlapping? All this part is overlapping. See, this part over here. Below these both. See, from here to here. Below this, everything is overlapping. So this is your solution region. Now I've done it a bit messy, but whenever you see the options, or if you're graphing, if you just make sure you just shade this region, that is more than enough. That is the overlapping region. Only for this, to show you all, I've graphed everything below. But in your exams, just make sure you graph only the overlapping region, and that is the solution part. We can see the answer over here now. It'll be, see, this one. The overlapping region is not the above. See, not this, not this, not the blue and not the light, sorry, not the yellow and not the light blue. It's the dark, slight variation of blue, this part. Okay, so that is the solution. And this is not so accurate, but it's fine, you know. So that is the solution region. That is basically, here it's green, okay. The difference is not, I thought it's blue itself, but this is the green region, this is the solution region. For this problem, I will use the table method. Now, just now what we used over here was the slope intercept form. It's much easier, I feel. The table method is also easy, but it just takes a long time, and you get accurate graph, to be honest. Now, this is the coordinate. Now, these are the two graphs, right? All you need to do is substitute these as it is in the calculator and get the table. Here, if you press more and then go to 7, that is table, what is the equation? This is the equation 1 divided by 3x, that is alpha x, plus 2. Now, always remember, y must be separate and this must be separate. You can't, it must be in terms of y is equal to mx plus b. Now I've just written it because y is alone and this is the equation. I've just written it. I will tell you how to solve it in a while properly. Now this is the equation. Most of the calculators won't have the second option. So just press equal to leave that. Where do you want to start? That means which x values do you want to compute the value for y? So I will start somewhere at minus 5. From here, I will end at 5, positive 5. I'll get all the values from minus 5 to 5. And let me take a step of 1. That means each value, minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, all the values will be computed. And these are the answers. For minus 5, the answer is positive 1.33. That's 4 by thirds. Then for minus 1, it's 1.6. And you can see this is the graph. And here, that means the graph, if you plot it, let's just plot it over here. Now 0, now this is for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can go minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see for 2, x value of 2, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. When x is 2, this point, the value for y you can see is 2.66. That is 1, 2, somewhere over here. And when it is 3, it is 3 over here as well. And when it's 4, it's 3.3. And you can see that progress is downwards. Over here for 0, it will be 1, 2. And you can just connect this line. It'll be something like that. Okay, this is an approximate line as well. But you can do more accurate by, see, accurately observing each point and marking them. It'll be something like that. So that's how we do it, table method. Now here, if you look at this equation, you can see y is greater than this part. Now, if I'm writing other way around, if I'm writing this first and this second, look, y over here is greater than, because it's opened, the inequality is open towards y. So y is greater than 1/3 x plus 2. This is the answer. This is the inequality. So y is greater means all the solution region upwards is the answer. Okay. Now, what about this line? X is greater than or equal to minus 3. That means it's x equals to certain point. Where is x minus 3? Somewhere over here, right? 1, 2, 3, minus 1 to 3. If you draw a straight line over there, anything that is more than that, this is all the solution region for x. So that is the thing. And this is upside is all the solution region. The overlapping region would be this region, whatever is this. So that is the solution part for this particular graph. You can see the straight line and this line is going downwards. See, mine is not accurate. If I had drawn all the points accurately, I'll get this intersecting point. And the above part, can you see this above shaded region? The overlapping region is the solution. So this is the table method. But I personally always go with the slope intercept method because that is a useful method all the time. Table method is also fine. It's just that you need to rearrange the equation and put it in the calculator, find the points. But in the long run, once you're thorough with the slope intercept method, this will save you a lot of time just by looking at this. I know that this is having a intercept at 2 and the slope is 1/3, so it'll be less than 45 degrees, so something like this approximately. This is direct. You will save a lot of time in the slope intercept method. Now we will see more problems. Over here again, we need to do the same graphing of inequalities. Let's graph this up. Now, when I look at this, when I look over here at the equation, I can see if I add them up, what's going to happen? Minus 3 plus 3 is 0. Plus 4 minus 4, 0. I'll get 0 is greater than, you should add this, greater than or equal to 8, which is wrong. This is a no solution graph. If I graph it, I'll get no solution. But anyways, let's graph both of them. I will write it in terms of y is equal to mx plus b. Here it will be, I'll leave this 4y here and everything to the other side, greater than plus 3y. Let me write it separately and just write the equations over here. So the first equation, 4y greater than, now this goes to the other side, x goes to the other side. See, y must be alone over here, and this goes will be positive 3x. Sign remains the same. Only if I had to change this y over here. Now if I had to change sign, if I have to make both negative, this sign flips. Okay. Now what we do is y is greater than 3/4 x. Fine. That's the first equation. Y is equal to 3/4 x plus 0. Next one over here. Let's leave minus 4y over here. Take this to the other side. Okay. I just realized I did not tell one important thing, which I'll tell now. It is very important for the example 1 and 2 as well, about the lines, whether it's a dotted line or a straight line. I'll just do this part. It'll be going to the other side. So what happens is over here, it'll be minus 3x plus 8. Let's change the signs throughout. It'll be 4y less than or equal to 3x minus 8. Now divide everything by 4. So it will be less than or equal to 3/4 x minus 2. Now look over here. I first change the sign and then divide by 4. It's fine. Or I can divide by 4. It will be minus y everything and then change the sign. It's fine. You will get the same answer. Now here, look carefully. Whenever you have greater than, let me just write it over here. So when you have this greater than or less than, sorry, greater than or less than, the graph is always dotted lines. Okay, it's always like this, up or down. Whereas if you have greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, it's a straight line. So please remember this. Let's quickly go back to the previous problems. Here, I forgot to tell you, the first problem, it's dotted lines, not straight lines. I've done straight lines, that's wrong. This is very important to know. Whenever it's only greater than or equal to, it's dotted lines. Whereas you have greater than or equal to and less than equal to, it's straight. And when it's only like this, it's dotted. So please understand that differentiation. Now here, we got both the equations now. Let me just erase this part. Now we got both the equations. Let's write them up together. Y is less than or equal to, sorry, over here it is y greater than. Okay, this is greater than. This is y less than or equal to 3/4 x minus 2. Now looking at this, these are parallel lines with the same slopes and the intercepts are at different points. One is having an intercept of 0, one is at minus 2. That means these are parallel. Let's see, it's like this, parallel. Now 3/4 is 0.75. It should be a little down, but anyways, I'm just, this is a rough one. It's not accurate. It should have been tilting a little downwards, something like, not like that, but little downwards than the original. Now here, let's see the first one, which is at y-intercept 0. This is the first equation. Equation 1, sorry. It's greater than. And over here, it's just greater. So this is the wrong line to use. I have to use dotted lines here, okay? So let me use the dotted lines. What you can do is draw it in pencil first. You can just draw a straight line and then make it, just erase some parts and make it dotted. You can do that also, anything, whichever you're comfortable with. And everything above this, because it's y greater than, means above this is the solution region. And here y is less than or equal to. It's a straight line, yes, but anything that is below is the solution region. Is there any part that's overlapping? This and this never overlaps. This should have been the region that could have overlapped, but no. Like if it was up and low, then this would have been the overlapping region. But here it's up and down for both the equations and there is no overlap. So what basically happens is there is no solution for this graph. If you see the graph here, when we graph them up, see there is no solution because one is up, one is down. And here the above line was dotted. Why? Because it was greater than only, whereas the below was less than, greater than or equal to. Sorry, less than or equal to. So that's the answer. These are parallel lines, so there is no solution. Please do try this by yourselves and then you can continue watching the video. Here. Now we will solve this over here. Let's write all the equations in slope-intercept form. Y is equal to mx plus b. So we have y, let me just write y first, greater than x plus 3. And the next one we need to simplify first. Minus 3y will be greater than or equal to minus 3x plus 12. Let me divide all the sides by 3. So it will be minus y greater than or equal to minus x plus 4. And now change the signs. It will be y less than or equal to x minus 4. So here y is less than or equal to x minus 4. So if you're graphing it directly from the slope-intercept equations, let's see the intercept. One is at plus 3, one is at minus 4. This is minus 4, this is 3. The first one is dotted line and it's greater than, so it's x. So just you need to do a dotted line. X is 45-degree line. The slope is 45 degrees. Here it will touch at -3. Now this one, -4, it's the same thing again, parallel lines only. Slopes are same and intercepts are different. That means they're parallel. But here, y is greater than, for the first equation, this one, it's greater than. So it's all upward solution. And what about this? It's all below solution, less than. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's less than or equal to. So it's straight line. Okay. It's straight line. There is no solution. Why? Because there is no overlapping region. So there is no solution. Here you can see this is the answer. We will look into the real world problem now. A family and consumer sciences class is making pillows and blankets to donate to a local shelter. The class has 40 yards of fabric to use. Pillows require 1.25 yards of fabric and 1 hour to make. Now we need to write this. First of all, let's take pillows and blankets, right? So they're making pillows and blankets. Pillows is X, this is Y. And what has happened with the pillow? The total fabric that is there is 40 yards. Okay. How much fabric is used for pillows? So it's 1.25 fabric. Let me take it as X plus how much blankets require the fabric? It's 4 yards. So 4y will be, it's not equal to C. They have 40 yards and there is a limited time for them to complete. So it should be less than or equal to 40 yards because it can't be more than that. Okay. It can be anything less than or equal to. This is the inequality. And what about the time? It takes 1 hour. That means it's X for pillows. And what about the blankets? It takes 2.5 hours. So 2.5y. The class has 28 hours of class time left. So it should be less than or equal to 28 because it can't exceed this. Because maximum time is 28, but it can be even less. Okay. We need to determine the number of pillows and blankets the class can make for the shelter. Now, here first we have written the equations, we have defined the variables, and we have written the system of inequalities. So that's the first part. It's done. That's over here 1.25. They have taken P as pillows, B as blankets. You can take it as X and Y as long as you know what is what. So this is the first equation, and the second one was X plus 2.5 times Y less than or equal to 28. Both are less than or equal to. Now to graph the system here, since it's a real world problem, it's important to graph it accurately. We need to take the viable solution from it. That's why the most important method would be over here, the table method. So you get accurate graphs. But over here, I will just show you the slope intercept method. Y is equal to mx plus b. Even you can get the equations because you need to get the equations to slope intercept form and then get the table. Okay. So we need to rearrange and write them in the slope intercept form. So I'll take the first one, 4y less than or equal to the other side, it will be 1.25x plus 40. Divide all the sides by 4, it will be y is less than or equal to negative 1.25 by 4. 1.25 is 5 by 4. 5 by 4 into 1 by 4 is 5 by 16. You can put in the calculator. It'll be negative 5 by 16. Negative 1.25 divided by 4 is about 0.3 or something. So it's a negative slope 0.3. Very, very little tilt, Plus, like just like this small. Plus 10. That's the first equation. What about the next equation? It will be 2.5y will be less than or equal to minus x plus 28. Divide all the sides by 2.5. Here it will be y less than or equal to 2.5 is 5 by 4. When you're dividing that 5 by 2, it will be 2 by 5 minus 2 by 5 x plus 28 divided by 2.5 will be 11 point something, very close to 11.2 or something. So this is the answers. Now we can just write it over here. We can write in fractions because calculator will solve it up for you. Minus 5 by 16x plus 10. And over here y is equal to negative 2 by 5. That's 0.4x plus 28 by 2.5. Now see, the slope over here is about 0.3 and one more is 0.4. It will cross, but it will be very, very near, the graphing. Let's look into the graph because we can graph this by table directly, and you can see this. We can observe here the two graphs. This is the two graphs. They touch somewhere over here, the intersection point. Now, if you take your calculator, you will get the intersecting point, but you'll get in decimals. Now, since this is a real world problem, you can't choose decimals, though that's the answer for the graph. A viable solution can't be any decimal or integer. I mean, you can't be a decimal point or a fraction. It must be a whole number. That's very important. It must be positive numbers. So over here, 4 blankets and 15 is a viable solution, because if you choose somewhere 4 and you can choose this, any point over here is a solution. Now if they just keep on making only pillows, they can make up to 25 pillows. That is also, and 0 blankets, that's a solution. But probably they would make a little bit, half of this and half of this, right? So viable solution would be somewhere over here, 4 and 16 or 4 and 15 or something like that. You can even choose another solution, but probably 4 and 15 is selected over here. That's a reasonable solution. That's why we tell that it's a viable solution. We need to choose any point from the graph which is within the solution region. That's it. So take somewhere in the middle over here and middle over here. So that falls as 4 and 15. That's how we solve this particular problem. Now we have another real world problem. Let's see how to solve this. Aisha can work up to 20 hours per week. Working at bakery, she earns $7 per hour most of the time and 8.5 per hour during the early morning shift. So let's write that. First of all, she can work up to 20 hours, right? So I will write X as the working in bakery, just in bakery. Morning shift as Y, morning shift. So X plus Y will be, maximum is 20. So it must be less than or equal to 20. And what is the earnings? $7 for X plus 8.5 for Y. Aisha needs to earn at least $150. That means now here, if it's at most, it's less than or equal to. Now, at least means it can be more than 150, but it can't be less. So this is important. At least means greater than or equal to 150. This is important to know. Why? Because it can't, at least means it's 150, 160, all these are possible, but not less than that, not less than 150. It can't be 149. So we tell greater than or equal to. These are the solutions, the systems of inequalities. And then we just graph this just like what we have done, and then we'll get the answer. Let's look into the options over here. This is wrong. This is also wrong. Yeah, this is correct. Now, it's just that I've taken working in the bakery as X. Over here, they have taken R, plus M is the morning shift. Y is less than or equal to 20. 7R plus 8.5 M must be greater than or equal to 150. Let's look at this. See, this is also wrong. So this is your solution. That's it. And if you graph them, you will get over here. This is the answer. So, okay, we need to check viability of the solution points. They have given us plenty of solution points, 2, 17. Let's look whether they are reasonable, true solution or no. Where is 2? Here. 17 is, this is 16. 17 will be somewhere here. No, this is not viable. This is not true solution because it must be in the overlapping region, isn't it? Now, the overlapping region is this region. Anything over here is overlapping. So, sadly, the first point is wrong. Let's see about 4.7. Oh, 1 minute. Now, let me just go back because I'm not so sure which is the overlapping region. So, how do you find the overlapping region? First of all, we need to write them in the standard form, okay? So I will write, let me take the equations which I had just a while ago. Let me write this as y is less than or equal to negative x plus 20. That's one equation. And this one will be 8.5y greater than or equal to 7 minus 7x plus 150, and you just divide all the sides by 8.5. That's fine. Now we will get how the graphs, which is the overlapping region. So here 20. So all that is below this is overlapping. Okay, all that is below this is overlapping, and this one is having greater than symbol. So this will be all overlapping. So you can see this part right over here. This is the overlapping solution. So anything that is within this region is the solution. So let's go back to the first point which I just saw. 2 comma 17. So 2 16 is over here. This is 17 18. So yes, this is a solution. Okay, this is a viable solution. I didn't realize that, which is the overlapping region. I thought this one, so I told no, but this is true because 2 and 17 is somewhere over here, and that will be the point. 2 comma 17, it is in the solution region, so the answer must be viable for this. I hope it is clear now. And this 10 and 10, let's check where is 10 and 10. A 10 is over here and another 10 is somewhere over here. So this is okay, this is on the line that should be, true. So yeah, it's absolutely on the line, right? Yeah, it's fine. It needs to be checked very accurately. One way to check is putting it in the equations. I'll put it over here, 10, and this is 10. 10 plus 10 is 20. 20 is less than or equal to 20. Yes, in the first equation it's true, but you need to check for the other one as well. When I multiply this by 10, it will be 70 plus 85. It must be greater than or equal to 150. Let's check. 70 plus 85 will be 714. Yes, it'll be 155. So yes, this is also viable. Even this can be checked, but it's much if it's easier in the graph, you can do it directly, but otherwise do substitute the x and y values in this equations and then see whether the inequality is true. Here it's equal, since there is inequality equal, so yes, it's fine. But if it was anything like 21, then it would have been wrong. Okay, let's check 4 comma 7. 4 comma 7. Now this is over here. 4 comma 7 is somewhere over here. This is way outside. This is not viable. 18 comma 6. Now this is 12. 8, 12, 16. This must be 20. This is wrongly written. This is 20. So 18 is somewhere over here and 6. No, this is also not possible. 5 comma 15. 5 and 15. So 5 is over here, 15 will be somewhere over here. So what you can do is, if it's touch and go, just substitute it. 15 plus 5, x plus 5, sorry, 5 plus 15 must be less than or equal to 20. Yes, it's 20 less than or equal to 20. That's fine. What about the next one? So the first 7 times 5 plus 8.5 times 15 must be greater than or equal to 150. You can just put in the calculator. Yeah, it's 7.5 times 5. Sorry, 7 times 5 plus 8.5 times 15. Now here you can see this is 160. Yes, it's greater than 150. So this is also viable. Yes, this is true. 21, where is 21? It's outside 6. No, it's not possible because this is not overlapping region. 8 comma 13, 8. 12 is over here. If it was 12, it would be true, but this is 13, so this is wrong. So only 3 viable solutions. Let us check. This is viable, this is non-viable. Non-viable means not true. It's not in the overlapping region. This is true, not true, not true. So that's how we solve it. If it's very much close, if it's a touch and go, just make sure you put it in the calculator and check it. That is the end of this lesson. I hope you have benefited from it. Please do subscribe to my channel. The reason I say all the time subscribe to my channel is because more than 90% of the viewers of my videos are not subscribed, and subscribing is free, but it would make so much difference to me. So please do consider subscribing and liking and sharing my videos to anyone who might find it helpful. Thank you guys, and see you in the next video. Until then, happy learning.